Hey, welcome back to Crafty Mama of Two. Today we're pressure cooking and canning up some pinto beans. Alright, so a few months back I went to Walmart and got this 20-pound bag of pinto beans. In this video we actually aren't going to get all of it done. We got about half of them cooked up. Here you can see me just laying them all out, and I'm searching through it for any broken ones, split ones, any rocks, twigs, anything like that. And I'm just sliding them into that big colander because you always want to wash the beans beforehand. Now, because we are pressure cooking them before canning them, I am not having to soak them overnight. If you have issues with gas because of beans, you do still want to soak them overnight in some baking soda water before pressure cooking, but for the most part we don't have an issue. So I can just sort them all out, get them cleaned up, and then cook them before canning. And when I cook them, I only cook them for 30 minutes. Because when I can them, you can them, depending on the size, anywhere from 75 to 90 minutes. And then obviously when you take them out, most of the time you're also cooking them again. So I'm not too worried about making sure that they are fully cooked when they come out of the pressure cooker. I don't have a specific recipe that I do every single time. I don't just use these for one thing either. So we're going to do whole cloves of garlic. Usually I do minced, but I don't have any. I found this garlic parmesan seasoning that I wanted to use up. I always add paprika. This happens to be a Spanish style from Sam's, but any kind of paprika is going to work. And then I also add some Tony's, and before we actually put it in the pressure canner, I always add in a little bit of salt. So my pressure cookers are 6-quart. I usually fill it about halfway full with dried beans. Then I fill it to the max line with just some water from the sink, because we have decent sink water now that we have filtration. Put the lid on, make sure that it's on pressurizing and not unsealing. And then mine actually has, and I think most of them do, they have a beans chili button. It's going to high pressure cook for 30 minutes. So when the beans get done, I'm going to stir them up really good because I didn't stir them with the seasonings beforehand. So I'm just going to get a wooden spoon out and I'm going to stir it, make sure I get all the seasonings from this side and get them mixed in as much as possible. Then you see my canning funnel there. We're just going to funnel in the beans. You want to leave a 1-inch headspace, which is basically right where the spirals start to put the lid on. And I didn't worry too much about making sure that I had enough liquid with the beans in the cooker, because on the stove, which you can't see, I have a saucepan of water that if I didn't have enough liquid to get up to that 1-inch headspace, I just add a little bit of water. It's not going to be that big of a deal. There's plenty of seasoning in it. Now, I don't think I showed you adding in the salt. We actually get pink Himalayan and as well as kosher salt from Dollar Tree, and then use our Checker grill to smoke it. And so that's what I was using. I just sprinkle a little bit on top, and it just makes sure that you have the right acidity. Here I'm debubbling it, making sure that I have at least that 1-inch headspace. If I don't, I'm going to add a little bit more water. Then I have my lids warmed up on the stove. Now I know the newer lids, especially from Ball, you don't have to warm up. I still do it anyway. So we're going to add a little bit more in where we need to. Then I have just this old cloth that I'm putting in some apple cider vinegar, and I'm wiping around the edges, just making sure that there's nothing stuck on. This is especially important if you're using anything sweet, but even something like this, I still had some of the broth stuck on there and dried, and that's not going to allow a decent enough seal. So you want to make sure you get all of that cleaned off before putting your lids on, and then put your rings on finger tight. Alright, so most canning kits will come with this magnet lid grabber, just so you don't stick your hands in the hot water. And so I'm just using that, centering it, like I said, fingertip tight on the rings. That is very, very important. If you don't do it tight enough, it is not going to seal. If you do it too tight, you can actually have bubbling or break your jars. So I put some water into my pressure canner. There is a line on all pressure canners, so you'll have to look at yours. And then I'm filling it with my pints. I did do pints as well as quarts, but you have to do them separately. So pints in this one, get it all filled, get it cooked. Those are 75 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure. Quarts are at 90 minutes at 10 pounds of pressure, and then add it as you need to. And then here is the next day. When you get ready to store any home cooked or home canned things, you need to take the rings off and you need to check for seals. And that's what I'm doing there. I'm just picking them up by the actual lid. Alright, I know this one was short, quick, and to the point, but I hope you have a wonderful day. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video.